Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and I appreciate you stopping by. So Season 5 has been out for a couple days and I wanted to share with you my controller settings that I'm using, specifically for the DualSense Edge, but you can use these settings for anything, the Xbox controller on PC or within the Xbox itself. I'm going to be going over the game settings first, so you can go ahead and get those down and move on with your day. If you can, just drop a like and a comment and I'll greatly appreciate that. And in the second part of the video, you're going to be able to get the DualSense Edge settings that I am using within Season 5. And if you would like a additional video on what I'm using hardware and also within my game settings to get the lowest input possible within Warzone, let me know and I can make that video for you. Just drop a like and let me know in the comments that you want that video, that way I can help you guys out. All right guys, I don't want to take too much time, so we're going to jump into it. Let's go. All right, so controller settings. So we have edit button layout. You can use any one you like to use. The most common is going to be tactical, and you're going to want to flip L1 and R1, L2 and L1. This allows you to aim down and shoot a lot faster. So if you don't have back pedals, you could do this. And it's also running the this one, you're going to be able to crouch with your right stick. So keep that in mind. Something's been around for a long time, but you could do that. So dead zone inputs, I'm running 720, 0, 100. The biggest difference I made is this left stick. Reason why I went to the left stick at 20 instead of 65. 65 still works really good. I would still recommend 65, but I like activating my tactical sprint a lot sooner. And I feel like you do that at 20. The lower your left stick max, the less time it needs to get to the maximum where you need to go, right? You see that? And rather running it at 65, it takes a little bit longer to get to the maximum. So boom, now I'm acting my tactical sprint. So just running it at 20 gives you a little bit sooner to hit your tactical sprint to turn on. As it affect aim assist, that's probably what you're asking or you're thinking. Maybe, but it's fractional. It's not something you feel drastically different. As I played and tested it, I was like, I don't feel a huge difference. I feel like linear dynamic does that rather than your left stick. But let's go to aiming. Let's talk about linear and dynamic now. So stick 6, this is preference, what you feel is best for you. I would recommend starting at 3 and then work your way up to what feels best to you. I land at 6 and that feels good to me. 0.095 here, and then right here, aim response linear at 30 is where I'm at. And dynamic, if you want to run dynamic, you can as well, and I would recommend running it at 24 or at 0. And the difference between these, in my opinion, I like it at 24. I like the way it feels. And the difference between these aim assist types, it's going to be I feel like dynamic on your initial aim down, it just feels a lot more secured. It feels more tighter. But what happens is when you're trying to transition from this guy to the next guy, like over even that target, it just feels a little bit more tighter rather than having more control. Like if this guy's here and here, there's one here within this bubble. See how kind of you feel it slowed down right at this line? It slows down right there. If there's a guy here and here, I feel like to control, and when they're moving targets, it's harder to get out of that bubble because it's so strong. And that's the issue I was having. In one-on-one fights, it works perfectly good, but when you're fighting multiple people, to me, it kind of messes you up a little bit. Within linear, on your initial ADS, I feel it's not as strong, it doesn't work as great, but it eventually kicks in and it feels good. And when you're trying to transition between shots and you're moving your left stick with it, I feel like you have more control of what you're doing. It just feels a lot more comfortable when you're in game. When people are moving around, there's things, they're slide canceling, doing all this stuff. I just feel you have more control within linear. So either one is good. It's just preference what you want to run, to be honest. All right, let's keep moving. Everything else here is honestly the same default. I didn't change anything within the bottom of this area. If you want to change something, you can. What I would also recommend to do is motion advance. You're going to want to turn this on. This helps with your 120 field of view, and your sensitivity. You're going to want this on. And that's pretty much it within this area. Trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. I don't think so. All right, gameplay, automatic tactical sprint. It's preference, you can run either one. Slide only, I would recommend try to get used to hybrid just because Black Ops is around the corner and they have that new type of movement where you can dive in any direction that you can think of. So hybrid will be really good idea to get into, which is something I'm thinking about doing myself. As I keep going, everything else here is basically the same thing. I didn't change much. Yeah, there's nothing much here I didn't really change. Kept everything the same. So if you're still here within the video, thank you so much. That's the settings I have for Season 5 that I am using. If you want me to break anything down a little bit further, let me know in the comments and I will do so. I am going to go over the DualSense Edge settings now. So if you're here on the DualSense Edge, I'm going to show you my settings I am using. Buttons in the back, X and O. If you want to switch them out, you can. It's totally preference. You could switch this to ping, but keep in mind if you click down to sprint, you're going to be pinging on the map. So if you know how to tactical sprint without the ping, which is automatic tactical sprint, you could switch this to ping. So that way you can utilize this button. But if you have a habit of sprinting sometimes, clicking it down like I do, then I wouldn't do it, which happens to me. I didn't run any curves. I tried quick and I tried precise. I didn't like them. I didn't like how they lined up with dynamic or linear. If anything, if you're going to run 65, you could run left stick and you could run quick and put it at 1 or 2. If you're going to run 65 on your left stick. Keep in mind, this will mess with your slope on that side. The left side's going to mess with it a little bit. So I liked it initially for a little bit, but as the more I played with it, I didn't like it. I was having some bad games, so I was like, no, this feels off. So I put it back to default. That's my recommendation, default. But try it out. Let me know what you think. Right stick, default. I am running 4% because of my stick drift. And my left stick, I am running 1%. And that's pretty much it. Trigger dead zone, 0 to 1, 0 to 22. On this side, I was initially 0 to 100, but I found 0 to 22 be almost the same thing. So I decided to do that just because I know 0 to 1 is the fastest input you can get, but you can't really rapid fire on certain weapons and kind of gets hung up when you're trying to spam the fire to shoot. So 0 to 22 works the best, which was my initial settings that I used a long time ago, Season 1, I think, or Season 2. And these are going to be off. Vibration intensity, trigger effect, we want that off. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the settings for Season 5. Let me know in the comments what's working for you, or if these settings work out for you. I love reading them. People gave me shout outs that, you know, it worked out. Their games have improved drastically. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. Even the negative feedback, I would like to hear it. Just saying, hey, it doesn't work for me. What do you recommend? And I'll go in and try to find and try to help you guys out. Again, don't forget, if you would like some hardware things that I'm using with my PS5 to help my game function faster, and my settings within my graphics for my PS5 to help the game have the lowest input possible, let me know and I'll do additional video for you guys. Drop a comment and drop a like and I'll do that for you guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I don't want to take too much time, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.